So look, if you have college-age children or are struggling to pay back those student loans that helped you get that education you needed right out of college, Harvey Warren is here. He's going to help guide us through this situation. I understand there's some new things we need to consider, new rules.
Well, yeah, at the Advisor Resource Group, we see a lot of students that have spent a lot of money on their college education, and now they have not found that job that they were looking for, and they haven't got the salary they were hoping for, and they're looking for ways to get out from under that debt load.
Joy is sitting in on this because you've got 3 kids.
Two are in
college. 2 in college
right.
now.
And like fat bills.
Yeah. It's almost puts you behind the 8 ball. You're like, I'm going to get this great education, and then you step out and you're in debt for years.
And the federal government is very concerned about it. I mean, those folks are living at home. They're not buying homes. They're not buying cars. Yeah. So the federal government's got some new programs. You know, we talked about the income-based repayment plan. We talked about the pay-as-you-earn plan. And now there's the revised pay-as-you-earn plan.
Which is what?
Well, it locks your percentage rate at 10%. So over the next 20 years, 10% of your income is where you're going to be paying these loans off. So we have on the website a whole list of web links that you can use to compare the different programs, whether it's IBR, pay, or revised pay.
You know, the kids, they go to school, they take out loans, and then they want to start their life, and then they go to have the new rules and paying, you know, a lower percentage rate. But how do they manage to pay that off and then to start a life, to finance a home if they wanted to do that? They have to pay a mortgage and then pay off their college
Well,
loans.
the answer is they can't.
That?
That's why they're changing the rules.
Yeah,
now, there's private lenders that are consolidating these loans, and we're going to talk about the fact that...
So consolidation is the answer?
Well, the federal loans can be consolidated. That's one option. And then on the private side, we're working with people like neurosurgeons that come out with $400,000 worth of debt. Well, yeah. And on $100,000 worth of loan, if you can lower that interest rate 1% over 20 years, it's $18,000 worth of savings.
That's amazing.
It's amazing. So $54,000, if you can really lower it on a $300,000 debt, that's where the home is. That's where the retirement planning is. That's where the money is, lowering your interest rate.
But is it do I want a slow burn here? Meaning, do I want a low interest rate and try to do it over a long period of time? Or do I just go like, you know what, let's rip the Band-Aid off and make this quick. I'll pay a little higher interest rate, but I want it over.
Well, that's where a good advisor comes in, because it's a different solution for everybody.
Right.
Know that if you pay it over a longer period of time, it's going to be a lot more total debt. The quicker you can pay it off, the better it is. But if you don't have the cash flow to pay it off, the lower the payments, the better off you are. But no matter what, the lower the interest rate, the better off you are.
How important is a college education?
Well, that's the big debate, too. You know, it's 85%. They say you make 85% more if you've got a college education. But then there's a whole lot of arguments that say that A students work for C students and B students work for the government. There's a whole lot of discussion about whether a college education is really necessary anymore.
Did your kids debate the college thing, or were you, as parent, you're going?
You know what? They were always programmed to go to college after high school. Yeah, we never really thought about it. However, if one of my kids, you know, wanted to take a gap year or wanted to work for a little while to sort of figure out what they were going to be majoring in, or, you know, just to do some soul searching, I would have been all for it.
Yeah.
It was just how they were programmed to think, though.
But see, Harvey, you say not everybody's really designed for college. There's other routes that you should consider going before dumping it all into a 4-year college?
Well, sure. I mean, you can go to community college and get, you know, lowest cost credits possible, and then go to a degree college to find out what you really want to do. Some people just, you know, aren't built for college, and they never make the assessment of saying, well, gee, what do I really want to do in life?
Yeah.
They just go to college because that's what we do. We go to college. And they never really look at, well, I'm going to borrow $150,000 and I'm going to come back with a degree in woodworking, and how's that going to work? Going to a trade tech.
How do employers look at the fact if you go to a community college for 2 years and then college rather than a 4-year college, they look at your application and consider you maybe not the material that they're looking for?
Well, your degree is going to be from UCLA, even if you went to Santa Monica Community College, because that's where you finished. That's where your degree comes from. It's
it doesn't matter to them.
Doesn't matter.
I also think that when I interview people to work for me, I look at their internships often more so than where they went to school. And also the interview, like their interviewing skills, sells me.
Yeah. How do you know if you're in the right groove? I mean, or do you, as far as the school goes, if a college is the 4-year program, if this is what I want to do?
Well, it's like a business decision. It's like any investment you're going to make. You have to sit down and really be honest and say, where am I going with this, and what is my likely salary going to be, and if I have this much salary, how much of this loan can I pay back over a year or two or 10 or 20?
Yeah.
And then you make the decision about what you want to do with your life. And I say to people, you got to really look at that closely, do the math,
Yeah.
and see if your plan to go to school passes or fails the test.
By the way, this is what, a 19-year-old we're talking to, trying to
Yeah.
figure out the life's big answers.
Well, that's
at
where
that
mom
young
and
age.
dad come in. I mean, you've got to really guide your children in terms of what you really believe your kid is good for.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
are they
help us here. What do we take away from all of this? What are the 3 top things that we should do?
Well, you first of all got to check the website, call the federal government, see how Repay, the brand new 2016 plan, applies to you. If you want to consolidate your loans, we have links, and if people want to reach out to me at my email, I'll refer them to private lenders. There's 2 really good ones that we found.
You are your people.
No, actually, I answer my email personally.
You do?
Oh,
wow.
absolutely.
Oh, nice.
Last time we did Social Security, I answered 100 different emails for you.
Wow.
Yeah, so
You're
it's
about
really
to get a
important.
lot more.
That's
Yeah.
fine. And I'm very happy to refer people to the private lenders, and they can really help you lower your interest rates and get it under control. But most importantly, make that decision beforehand. Do the assessment of whether or not a college education is really right and affordable, and how to get it done the best you can. There's a whole bunch of links on the website about where to look.
I don't know why, but I always sleep better after I see you.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Get more information on our website. Please visit harveywarren.com. He will write you back. He promises. We're going to come right back. And hairy fingernails, Debbie?
We are going to show you the wildest trends ripped straight from the runway.
And it's only going to take 10 minutes and be under $10.
I wonder what they could be.